So, good morning. Here we are again. How are you? Okay, I got a request from somebody who commented on my last video that some mindfulness would be good. So, here I am about to do some mindfulness. So, if you've never done mindfulness before, I'm just going to put the light on. It's a wee bit dark. That's better. Never done mindfulness before. The idea behind mindfulness is that you try to keep your focus on what's happening literally as it's going on. And why mindfulness helps is because if there's a lot going on, hello Hayley, if there's a lot going on and your mind is running here, there and everywhere, and maybe something bad happened yesterday, or maybe you're worried what's going to happen tomorrow, your mind is very much trying to deal with things that aren't actually happening now, because the past is gone and tomorrow's not here. And mindfulness techniques, of which meditation is only one, but mindfulness techniques are helpful because when you're focusing on what's going on right here, right now, whether it's you're focusing on your breath, whether you're listening to a guided meditation, whether you've got yourself really absorbed in some cooking or whatever, you are not reliving yesterday's argument with your other half or worrying about something that's going to happen tomorrow. Now, it's not a magic bullet. It's not a cure-all. But like all the techniques that I teach, mindfulness in its various iterations, whether you use meditation or other techniques, is simply a way to help you manage the stress in your life. Does not mean you're going to have a stress-free life. I speak from experience because I originally trained in these techniques because they really, really helped me. I still use them now. They still really, really help me. But they have not, I regret, guaranteed me a stress-free life. But they do mean that because I practice these techniques regularly, because it's kind of like, if you think about when you start training physically, first of all, you can't do very much. But as you train and practice more and more, your muscles get stronger. And it means they remember what to do, when if you're an athlete, you get muscle memory that tells you what to do and how to make the best possible start. It's just the same with your mind. If you practice mindfulness, you practice the kind of attitudes and thoughts and what have you that are helpful, if there's stress going on. Doesn't mean there won't be any stress, but it means you're practiced in responding better. Now, the word mindfulness is usually followed by the word meditation. It's nice and alliterative, I get it. In fact, mindfulness meditation is only one form of meditation. And I do intend to cover different forms of mindfulness, either here or on my Twitch channel or in my Discord, and I will post a link to the Discord underneath this video. So if you want to chat with me, get to know more, that's a really good place to join me. Okay. Let's focus in more on meditation. Now, if you start looking up meditation, you will read and hear lots of things, lots of different sorts of meditations. And it can be a bit off-putting. And, you know, if you read a book that says it's a good idea to, you know, sit and meditate for 20 minutes a day. Yes, there are benefits to that. But if you've never meditated before, jumping in to do 20 minutes at one go is a bit like, you know, attempting to run, you know, going into a professional race when you've never trained. You're not going to go well. The race is not going to go well for you. You might actually hurt yourself. So it is not necessary to meditate for 20 minutes a day. There are advantages to doing that. But you know what? If, because of how life is, your responsibilities, and hello all carers, because of your responsibilities, you can't spare much time, then I'm here saying any time is better than none. And if you read these books that say, oh, you need to sit cross-legged in the lotus position or have a nice upright back, and you can't do that for whatever reason, don't feel that you can't meditate. Any of my CPM friends watching will know exactly what I'm going to come out with now, because it's our mantra, and it's a very simple one. If you can breathe, you can do it. So whether you're an experienced meditator or whether you've never meditated before, what I would like you to do is to let go of any ideas about what you think meditation should be like, how long you think it should take. Just forget everything. I want you to just get yourself settled and comfortable. Now that can mean seated in a chair. It can mean lying on a bed. It can mean you're actually walking very carefully and gently, obviously. But I want you to be aware of the position that your body is in. How is your back? How are your legs? Are your feet on the floor? How are your joints feeling? And I want you to really notice what being comfortable means for you. And I want you to take a little bit of time just to get yourself comfortable if you're not already. And then I just want you to focus on your breathing. Just want you to notice your breathing. You're not out to change your breath. No need to change anything. I just want you to notice each breath as it happens. So when you breathe in, where do you first feel it? When you start to take that in breath, where do you feel it first in your body? And when you breathe out, where do you first feel that? Notice how your breath is. Is it long, slow and deep, or is it short and shallow? But however your breath is, I want you to be okay with it. This is not a breathing exercise. This is an awareness exercise. I just want you to notice your breath. And the trick, if there is one, and there isn't really, is just to keep your attention on your breath. Because when you're focusing on your breath, you're focusing on what's happening right here, right now. Can you allow your awareness of your breath to anchor you into what's going on right here, right now? You've chosen to give yourself this time. Thank yourself for doing that. Appreciate yourself for the fact that you've realised that you're worth spending time on. And just focus on every in-breath and every out-breath as it naturally happens. And if your mind wanders away, that's what minds do. So if you notice you've become distracted, don't get annoyed with yourself. Just think to yourself, oh, okay, my mind wandered, but let's bring it back to my breath. And it doesn't matter how many times your mind wanders away. Just as many times as it wanders away, just as many times lead it back. Not getting impatient, not criticising yourself. I want you to let go of the idea that there is any set pattern for this, or that there is some specific state of mind or position of body you need to be in to be mindful. If you're focusing on your breath, you are being mindful. Now, sometimes when there is an awful lot going on, it can feel that your mind is racing around at 100 miles an hour. You don't really know where to start first. And you know what? That's really exhausting. And so what I want to invite you to do for the next few minutes is to practice something that can be really helpful on those days when you feel like saying, stop the world, I want to get off. So keep your focus on your breath. But what I'd like you to do now is to notice all the movement in your breath. See how much movement you can notice. Be curious. What movements are you aware of? Where do you feel them? How big are the movements? Maybe some of them are very small and subtle. What I'd like you to do is to settle on the most obvious movement that you're aware of. And I'd like you to bring your attention to notice that moment, that point where the movement changes direction. And can you notice that just for a moment, everything is still? Now, if there are bad storms or hurricanes, there's a saying about the eye of the storm. And the eye of the storm is still and calm and peaceful, although on one level you're aware that there's winds and rain circulating around you. Can you allow your awareness of your breath to anchor you in to that moment of stillness that happens when the movement of the breath changes direction? Can you allow that stillness to be like the stillness in the eye of a storm? So within that stillness, you're calm. You may be aware of emotions, thoughts, feelings, all sorts of things, trying to get your attention. But right now, you can just let them go. You don't need to be thinking of them now. Just want you to focus on that stillness in your breath, because we all need stillness. Stillness is what allows our bodies and our minds to repair, to heal. Stillness is where we can replenish our energy. So can you allow your awareness of your breath to anchor you in to this moment of stillness that you've found? Remembering that for the next few moments, you don't have to deal with anything. Just focus on your breath and find the stillness and the calmness that you need. And then when you're ready, let your awareness start to move outwards, bringing yourself back to normal awareness, noticing what's going on in the room or next door, and sounds, feelings, smells, everything that's going on. Now, one reason why the breath is a very, very common and popular focus for mindfulness meditations is because it's always there. You're always breathing. And if you're always breathing, then that stillness, that brief stillness, when the in-breath changes to an out-breath and vice versa, is always there. It's happening hundreds of times a day. And to find the stillness, all you need to do is to bring your attention into your breath and focus on it. Shimples, as the meerkats would say. And the thing is, focusing on the breath is something that you can do anytime. You don't need me in your ear. But part of mindfulness, an important part of mindfulness, is being aware of what's going on up here. So the next time you notice yourself going down a rabbit hole you don't want to go down, or the next time you find yourself in that state of saying, I can't cope with all this, I want you to recognise two things. The first thing is that the stress isn't being caused by what's going on, but by what you are thinking about what's going on. And if you bring your attention into your breath, you can focus on that, and you can give yourself a break from thoughts just for a short time. And in that short time, you allow any stress chemicals to start to drain away so that you can think more proactively. Right, let's do this little illustration. This represents your brain. Run with it. This is the brain stem and the lower part of the brain. This is the more advanced part of the brain, and the nails represent the bit of the brain that makes us human. Now, what happens when you're stressed is, and there's a reason why I'm going to use this phrase, is we sometimes say we flip our lid. And suddenly, that thinking human bit of the brain is no longer in charge. It's all being driven by the reptile lizard brain that reacts on instinct. And what mindfulness techniques can do is reconnect so that you can think more proactively. Okay, I'm not going to make these streams terribly long. I'm going to end this for now. If it's been helpful, do let me know. All comments welcome. If there's something you'd like me to cover in another video, let me know. I'm trying to do more on the Discord, so I'll put a link to the Discord in my in the comments, because that's a good way for you to contact me when I'm not online, or at least when I'm not on Facebook. And I'm trying to post regularly in the Discord to give, people the help that they need. In the meantime, take care of yourself and remember that you matter. Namaste.